available for confession. Glory be to Jesus Christ. Happy Halloween. Yeah, this is the Feast of All the Saints. Well, kids are leaving, so if you want to get trick or treat, you need to talk to Father Andrew, deacon, after the liturgy. If he doesn't have any treats, he will maybe show you some tricks with the incense he can do. You know, we are Eastern people, we always have to have different than everybody else. That's what makes us special. But there is actually wisdom to have this Feast of All the Saints a Sunday after the Pentecost. Couple of Sundays ago, Father Deacon was asking you a question here. He was asking, why are we all here? And the idea he would try to bring, and this is where he developed that, he talked about resurrection of Jesus Christ. Today, we have continuation of this idea, why in the first place we come here. Of course, it's because of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But there is the second part that we are all invited and all called to be. We are called to sanctity. We are called to be holy. During the liturgy, just right after receiving the Holy Communion, the priest says the words, the holy things for the holy. Maybe not often we reflect on those words, or we bypass them. Me saying these words, sometimes I have a little bit of struggle. Especially if I have something on my conscience that I know it does not kind of go along with holiness. And here, I am touching the holy things, the holy of holies. And I'm saying that these holy things are for those who are holy. I know that afterwards we saying the prayer before communion, we saying that I am the first sinner. And this antinomy between holiness and sinfulness is played out very well. In our tradition, we see this tension there. But still, we want to get a head around. What does it mean to be holy? Sometimes we might even have a pejorative understanding of holiness. Oh, he's a holy. You know, just kind of making this like a point. But actually we know this person is not holy, but we just try to say you're a holy, you pretend to be holy. Sometimes we understand holiness as someone who never makes any mistakes. You have to be perfect. But holiness and perfection not always go along. As a matter of fact, perfection sometimes could become an obstacle for holiness. Because you're so perfect, you're above other people. This is where the devil is just kind of saying, aha, I got it. I got you. So perfectionism, it looks like, doesn't have much in common with holiness. The Hebrew word for holiness is kadosh, which means to be set apart. Something that you make something special. For example, we're making something special when we come on Sunday to church. We make this as a celebration. When we put maybe special clothes, that we're trying to make a distinction between 5 days of the working days and to make Sunday holy. So that's why it becomes a special one. This is what you set apart. You might have a corner in your home where you keep your icons, and when you're saying a prayer, you're looking those icons. Because you're making a point that this is the Holy of Holies, maybe in your home, and you want to make this special. We don't want to make everything the same, because if everything is the same, then nothing is holy. We need to have this little bit of sacrum and profanum. This kind of holy, and this is what daily. We need to make a distinction. I once learned about interesting churches in in the Middle Ages that you can find in some Gothic churches and earlier churches. In Roman Catholic churches, you will find the rose window. Rose window, especially thinking about Notre Dame de Paris, it has actually three, has this very important teaching meaning. Also, it's a beautiful one to look at. I remember I saw this once on the internet, never in person, but I put like in the whole screen. It was amazing. You kind of feel kind of pulled in. So the rose window, based on the idea of circle. And the circle was quite common even before Christianity, that when they've been drawing the circle, they've been trying to explain important idea of, it's like a wheel of fortune, right? Like a wheel of time. Time that changes. So imagine when you have a circle, right? So on the top, it's like when you have your life, when you're healthy, when you're strong, when you're feeling happy, you're feeling empowered, in control, you're living your life. This is where we all want to be. But then how the life goes, very often we see kind of going down. And then sometimes it reaches the bottom, always reaches the bottom. This is the moments that you might feel sick. You might have a conflict with your loved one, or you feel that your career maybe is under challenge, or maybe you lost your job. Everything feels like despair. You feel in darkness. You feel that God abandoned you. And then kind of life picks up a little bit further, and then you kind of get again to the top. And when you indeed look in your life, life goes in circles. Not just seasons that you can see how it's changing now. It always amazes me to see in Canada how spring has sprung, in the sense that the changes happen in weather. In Ukraine, I remember the spring lasts actually a few months, 2 months at least. It's gradual. Here, everything is gray, and then boom, 2 weeks, everything is green. And kind of full with energy and life. That's why we have the Pentecost last week, so we could see this greenery that kind of communicates to us about life. But then we know, then the beautiful autumn eventually will come. You see, I just passed summer on purpose, because I'm thinking about humidity and mosquitoes, okay? So I just moved to autumn, when you have the fall, beautiful leaves, and then it kind of first snow. I know you're not supposed to use the S word, but you can bear with me, okay? So then you have snow, and then it kind of reminded, again, the circle comes to its end, and then it will repeat again. And life goes kind of round and round, like wheels on the bus, round and round. So now, the whole question is, where are you in this circle? Because very often, we may live on the rim of this wheel. And when you look in the rose window, when you see this beautiful exposition that's been like a catechumenical tool to evangelize, to make people to learn about their faith, in the middle, in the center, you always will have Jesus Christ, or you have Mother of God with Jesus. And then you have apostles, you have prophets, and then you have saints. It kind of extrapolates from that very center. And when we live sometimes on the rim of the wheel, so then what's happening? When you live on the rim, your life will be throwing you out like crazy, right? You'll be just like going from one extreme to another extreme. You'll be wondering why God is doing this to us. But it's not God doing this to us, it's just we live on the rim of the wheel. And the whole idea, this is where I see the call for holiness, or being holy, is to live in the center, or closer to the center of the wheel. Because when you live closer to the center, yes, life will be throwing you all kinds of obstacles. No matter if you believe in God or you don't. So you will have those obstacles because it is part of life. Like suffering and death is part of life. So the idea is, if you live closer to the center, even you will be throwing you around, amplitude will not be going too crazy. It will be staying always closer to the center. And this is the whole idea. How to remain in the center. You know, like nowadays it's very popular is mindfulness, to be centered. That's a good idea, but in Christianity, we're not centering on ourselves. It's like you cannot make yourself holy. You cannot make yourself perfect because you are not in the center of your life. My life is not about me. But my life is supposed to be about Jesus Christ. And He must be in the center of my life. If He is in the center of my life, no matter what I'll be experiencing, I always have a place of return. I know where I belong. I'm at home. I'm at home here with Him, having Him in my heart, living, walking, breathing in Him. Paul Tillich, Protestant philosopher and theologian, he developed a very interesting idea. What is your ultimate concern? Because sometimes you might say, I would like to have God in the center of my life. But sometimes, you know, families, spouses, children, career, kind of pull us in the various directions. And here in this gospel today that we kind of supposed to almost like hate or to have this distance, in other words, to be detached from our families. Even this is shocking to our ears. We need to keep in mind how it was shocking to hear this kind of message for Jewish people, where the family was number one, was everything. And then the Lord is still telling us, your family cannot be number one. It has to be Him who is number one. So to ask ourselves today the question, what is indeed my ultimate concern? What is the most important for me? If your answer is, my family is the most important thing, or my children is the most important thing, maybe my career, or maybe my happiness is the most important thing, just say it. Don't be afraid. The Lord already knows your heart. But you need to acknowledge that, to voice that, and then really reflect on that. Is it worthwhile to have that or this as the center of my life? How can I bring myself? Because I know one thing. If I live closer to God, if I'm with Him, everything else will be put in the right place. I will have a healthy relationship with my family, with my wife, with my children, with my work, with my career, with my happiness, with everything else. But only if I have number one, Jesus Christ. If I have something or someone else in His place, it will collapse sooner or later. Because if you have a person there, well, this person might die. Or if you have a person, the person might get sick or might not be available for you as it was available before. And then kind of your happiness and then everything collapses. Because we are weak people. We only need to build on one stronghold, which is Jesus Christ. So let's pray today to the saints. Because they are like a hallmark, like the best image and example of following how we need to live. Because not all of them were doing everything perfectly. As a matter of fact, we know some of them have been doing horrible things or been walking away even after knowing the Lord. But they had a place of return. They had Jesus Christ and they made Him as the center of their lives. So let's follow their examples. We will come to them. We will ask them for guidance. We will ask the Lord to be number one in our lives.